Alright guys, so today we are going to have a market outlook for the week of um this is September. So the market outlook from September 29th to October 1st and the rest. So I'll be working on US30. Let's see what is likely to happen for the week. If you come to here, you see that we have something that looks like a sell, and we go to 15 minutes, we can see that this market avoided breaking of this high. So it looks pretty much like we are good to sell, and we will likely if you zoom in, you can see that this is like something that has been dropping. Yeah, that's right. So what should you do? Well, as a beginner, I will look for a sell. Once I enter for a sell here, and congratulations to me, I'll just automatically lose the trade. That's the fact. I'll lose the trade. Why? Because I have already failed to look at the bigger time frame to know what is already happening. Well, I might be right, I might be wrong, but trading is a game that when once you work based on guesswork, you will likely get it wrong than get it right. So let's do a proper analysis to know what is likely to happen for the week on US30. Firstly, we have to go to the monthly time frame to actually see what has been going on months in, months out. When you look at the monthly time frame, you can see that the last month, which was the month of July, was like a kind of choppy month, but we had a very super bullish August that even broke this high. This looked like the very last all-time high. So this was a retest, and then it finally got broken by August. So the month of September is a continuation of the bullish trend, because this was super bullish in a way that it also engulfed the candle of July. So let's see what is likely to happen next week. We go to the weekly time frame. Looking at the weekly time frame, we can see that we have a bullish continuation. This was super bearish. If you look at this candle right here, it engulfed a total of 4 candles. This is super bullish, bearish rather, and it can cause price to drop even further. But what happened here was that it was followed by a 3-week bullish momentum. This already invalidated the sell that was about to happen, and it no longer became a ticking time bomb. So this is a continuation of the buy. Now the daily time frame here, some might say we've been having a 3-day sell, and this is just a retest to continue the sell. Yes, you can actually be right, but when we look at the total happening, we can see that the market is bullish, and it has been bullish. So this is what happened on this daily time frame. You can see here we had a rejection here. This is a rejection. It was supposed to be bearish, but automatically it turned bearish, and it turned bullish rather, and closed bullish. So this is why this is going to be bullish. There were so many liquidities left here at this low that's rejected. There were so many liquidities, so markets slowly came down, and this was a sweeping of this liquidity. After sweeping this liquidity, if we were to continue our sales, market would just tap in this zone and keep going down. But it tapped this zone, and not just tapped it, but went higher. So you can probably see that this is also another sign for us to know that the market has turned bullish to facilitate the bullish uptrend that has been happening. So let's see what the 4-hour time frame is telling us. When you come to the 4-hour time frame, you can see where that liquidity was swept. After this liquidity was being swept, we had a candle that swept the liquidity and it went back to close inside of there. Another one was followed. This one here was supposed to close below, but it also closed inside the candle that swept that liquidity. All these were signs that we are about to buy. So what happened next? You can see a high here. This high led to the break of this structure, which was also the liquidity grab. If this high here was to do its work, market would have just retested or cleared it and came back down to break this low and continue the bearish trend. But what happened next? At this high, there are people who had their buys pending buy order here because they believe that when once market breaks here, it is time to go up. Now there are people who also had their pending sell order and people who were already on sell trade. Once market came here, it picked the pending buy orders and the sell orders, went up to grab to close the sellers. At this point, the sellers already believe that this market has turned bullish, so immediately they lost the trade. They turned to buy and placed their buy orders, instant orders, and they were happy riding this trade. But all of a sudden, the candle rejected and came back to wipe both the existing and new buyers. Now they lost. And also, this sharp move here has shown a lot of traders that maybe it's time to sell. That was a liquidity grab and it's time for we to sell now, and they were happy selling. But all of a sudden, the next candle came and it was bullish, wiping them again. But at this point, something happened here. There is a low that led to the break of this structure, and that low can be protected or was protected. How do we clearly see the low? You can clearly see the low by going to a smaller time frame, which is like the 1-hour time frame. Let's go to 1 hour, and this is the beautiful low that led to the break of that structure. So we will draw our rectangle here to mark out this low. So when we draw our rectangle here, we can see that market left this low to clear this and it broke the structure. But sharply market came back to this and it's sharply left this, making it a retest of this level that led to the break of structure. So when market does this, it simply is a sign that the bullish momentum is still on. So what do we do? Should we enter right now or should we wait for some sort of confirmation and retest and all that? Yes, because it's a new week and we don't know what will happen. We don't know if there's going to be a jump to the upside or a jump to the downside. So we await what the market presents to us. But when you go even lower to like 30 minutes, you can see that we had a beautiful demand zone here. Yeah, that was a second demand zone, and this one here that led to the break of structure can serve as our extreme demand zone, while we use this as another demand zone. And here we had our liquidation that actually led to the demand that led to the break of structure. So at this point, we just have to draw our rectangle around this as our second demand zone, and the other one becomes our extreme demand zone. So when we draw our line like this, we can then go even lower, that is most especially at the open of the market, to see what is going to happen here. We just have to wait for market to come in. We don't want to enter this trade when once market tap into the zone, or when market is consolidating inside the zone, because sometimes consolidation can sharply lead to break to the downside to at least pick more orders before going up. We want to see a clear sign, some sort of beautiful bullish candlesticks that leaves this zone. At that point, it tells us that the bullish trend is already started and we have to ride with it. So that's where we can just enter our trade and ride with the trend. So that's my market outlook for US30 for this week. And lest I forget, if we have a jump to the upside, what should we do? That would be your question. Yes, I'm more familiar with US30, and I can tell you, if we have a jump to the upside and it didn't come down to this level, maybe it keeps buying, all you have to do is to wait patiently at exactly 2 p.m. GMT plus 1 time zone. There is going to be a liquidity that will enter the market, and it will cause the market to fluctuate. At that point, we can just have a sharp drop to either this zone or a zone it will create later. When it drops to that zone, that is where you find your entry and scaling. Then you secure your entry with your stop loss. At that point, you can still get quality entry that will give you what you needed. So that's my market outlook for US30. Thank you for staying up to this time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also follow me on all my social handles and stay tuned for more videos like this. Thank you.